Welcome back, folks, to the OC Fairgrounds here in Orange County, California. There are more than housewives and fruit here, and we're showing you a lot of that on a Pro-Am mixed martial arts card here. Compliments of Bamma USA, and we are just getting started, aren't we?
Here's tail of the tape for fight number 3.
Our tail of the tape now for our first combatant in the next fight, Adrian Gomez from Subfighter MMA, 5'7", 155, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and boxing.
Yeah, he'll be taking on Nick Navarro, CSW. That's Catch Submission Wrestling, Eric Paulson's gym out there in Fullerton, California. Fantastic place. 5'9", 155 pounds. He is 3-0 as an amateur.
So Navarro 3-0 as an amateur, taking on the 2-1 Adrian Gomez. Things are comparable as far as height, only 2 inches difference between them. The weight identical, and both guys very, very well matched for each other. Gomez in the red corner. And in the amateur shows you see, they have compliments of Camo, the amateur organization here in California. They have colored shirts as well. The blue is Nicholas Navarro.
Makes it very easy on us as commentators. We
Very
got a red and a blue.
handshake right there by both men. A two-handed cordial handshake initiated by Adrian Gomez. Good sportsmanship.
Adrian Gomez going for a takedown right away. He's not able to get it. They're now in the clinch.
Goes from a two-handed handshake to a double underhook, and now over-under. Trying to work against the cage. He's got Navarro pressed up against it.
Adrian Gomez, a former professional bodybuilder. So now he's used that big physique to try to muscle people in the cage.
And that'll be interesting to see if it goes. It is 3 2-minute rounds, so it is digestible for a fighter to be able to make it to the finish line. But a lot of times the the weight-enhanced muscle development is an oxygen hog.
And a takedown by Gomez. He finally gets the one he was looking for. Navarro working for a leg lock there, it looked like. Very active guard. CSW, the gym of Navarro, is known for their submission ability, specifically leg locks by the great Eric Paulson.
Halfway through the fight so far, in being the first round. 1 minute left, just under now.
Navarro keeping active there on the ground. You can see he has both hands on the back of Gomez's head. Has to keep his posture down so he can't punch.
And again, something people may or may not know too, a lot of times the camps these guys come from, Subfighter, CSW, very influential in the style and in the level of skill you're used to dealing with when you get to a fight.
I think that was a now we have Navarro on top from either like a combination of, I think maybe Gomez was going for a leg lock perhaps, and Navarro turned that into a sweep. But either way, however it happened, Navarro's now on top. Comes back up again, and again he gets his takedown. More of a sweep in this case. Again, very active guard by Navarro. He's using his legs to tie up the arms. Oh, that's got an armbar attempt.
Oh, and he has to let
Adrian
it go.
Gomez is out.
Gomez is very slippery. And not slippery in the sense of the fight being developed and he's like sweaty. He's just very difficult to submit.
And that'll take us to the end of the fight, right when Navarro was working what's called an omoplata. It's kind of it's a shoulder lock with your legs.
Here's some of the handiwork here of Adrian Gomez. Looking for a hip toss.
And not going to happen in this case.
Doesn't get it.
Very hard to do when they're against the cage, because to do those kind of throws, you need your opponent pushing forward. And when they're against the cage, they're leaning back.
There's a little bit of a slam, and then Navarro lets the arm bar go before he gets slammed.
Yeah, two good takedowns by Adrian Gomez, but he did very little with it. He was mostly fighting off submissions. Navarro with one sweep. Tough round to score. Again, judges really like to score for the guy on top. Who's ever on top generally is winning the fight, even if the bottom guy is very active with his submissions.
Round number 2 signaled by ring general, our referee, Mike Beltran. Again, Navarro in the blue, Adrian Gomez in the red.
I've always wanted referee Mike Beltran to say, that was a rootin' tootin' good fight. It's like Yosemite Sam.
He might. Somebody might throw a cowboy hat over the top and maybe a couple of pistols.
Either way, there's fights going on in the cage. And a weird kind of throw right there gets Gomez on top. And in the mount, Grant landed right in the mount. Very dominant position by Gomez. Navarro's in trouble here. Gomez doing the right thing, taking his time. He got the mount early in the round.
Cross face right there. He looks very calm too. He's in the mount.
Settle down, no need to rush.
Navarro looking for him to go high on that mount and see if he can buck him off. Not taking a lot of damage on the bottom so far, as now Gomez appears to be setting up an armbar of his own. You see that?
He's thinking armbar, but because Navarro turned around, now he's got his hooks in, rolled back to his back. Now he's in what's called the half guard. He only has one leg of Gomez in between his legs.
Second round of action scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds here at Bamma USA. We're at the OC County Fairgrounds in the hangar. Amateur Mixed Martial Arts, compliments of Bamma, as well as governed by the California Amateur Mixed Martial Arts Organization, also known as CAMO.
Yeah, Gomez should be striking here. He's in a good position, got me against the cage. Now he's trying to guillotine from top. He doesn't really have his hips and legs in the right place to execute it. He's probably just holding him here.
Dropping some little inside shots there is Gomez.
He's in a good position to strike right here. Navarro can just stand up right here. He's sitting on his butt up against the cage. He can just plant his hands on the ground, get up, get out of this position. But with 10 seconds left, I think his fate is sealed for this round.
Yeah, under 10 seconds now at the 5-point. This appears to be an Adrian Gomez round once again. Now in the second round, we saw a lot of the same, but we saw, I think, a little bit more, especially on the submission side from Navarro, we saw a little bit more of that CSW influence coming into effect.
Yeah, and Adrian Gomez was wise to it for the most part, able to stay out of most of those positions. But again, the story of this round, same as the first, Adrian Gomez going for those takedowns, initiating the takedowns, spending more time on top. When you're a mixed martial arts judge and you see one fighter on top more than the other, you always tend to lean that direction.
We're going to go into the third now. Who do you see ahead of this thing so far?
I think Adrian Gomez is pretty good in control right now. Neither round has been dominant for either fighter by any means, but all you got to do is be better than 50% plus one over your opponent, and you win that round sometimes.
So says my plus ones. Third and final 2-minute round, and they come out winging. Gomez in the red, Navarro in the blue. Again, Gomez looking for a hip toss, doesn't get it.
And maybe they were listening. Navarro going in for a single leg.
He let go of the head as soon as Gomez felt himself getting hoisted in the air. He let go.
Yeah, he was going for a guillotine attempt there. Navarro had to adjust how he went for that takedown to make sure he avoided the guillotine, and that's all it took for him to get out.
Yeah, as soon as Navarro started picking him up, he immediately let go. I guess he figured if he let go, he wouldn't get slammed. And he didn't have the choke in where he could take a chance on it getting tighter, so it would have just been slammed.
You got some cage work going here. Another guillotine attempt by Navarro.
Yeah, Navarro's got the head pretty good.
Standing guillotine attempt. I don't know how close that is. Gomez seems to be trying to struggle out of it.
Gomez is having trouble with it. He may not be able to. There you go. He's got his head out. He may not have had trouble breathing, but he definitely was feeling some pain. There was maybe a little bit of a neck crank to it.
Gomez now with the takedown. Now he's on top against the cage. 1 minute left in this fight.
Using a butterfly there in his right leg as Navarro looking to try not to get mounted here. Now he's looking for a leg lock.
He's going for a leg lock, and he has Gomez's hand trapped as well. So you can see his right hand is trapped underneath that leg.
Adrian Gomez has a look on his face at all times whether he's in a good or a bad position where he's totally cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, he's having a good time in there. Well, in a sweep, yes, Navarro has kind of a leg lock position here, if he can use it.
Leg lock and submissions from CSW. Who would have thought it?
Bread and butter, man. That's the bread and butter out there.
Eric Paulson is one of the Yodas of this sport. And you're seeing why right here. He's got an amateur fighter who's just working the ground.
It's a go-go plata attempt. Navarro's trying to use his shin to execute a choke. Not there.
And that is a rare move, not the easiest thing to pull off. But
one of the toughest. The unicorn of MMA submissions.
Look at those left hands he's throwing off of his back. Somebody told Navarro that your job is to fight here and there because he's doing it every second.
Yeah, fun little round right there. Yeah, sometimes you see guys just twist it up like a pretzel. You want to say, okay, that move is called blah. Sometimes that position never happens before.
Here we see some of the action. And Navarro, this may score in his favor on the cards. He was moving the fight forward in one way or another wherever he was. If he was on his feet, if he was in reaction, he was always moving the fight forward. He didn't settle and try to rest at any point.
Yeah, and credit to Gomez for getting these takedowns and taking the fight where he wanted it. He's got good wrestling ability in this fight, and Navarro found himself on his back for the bulk of this fight.
Well, we'll see if the heavily muscled Gomez pulled out the victory over Navarro. Right now, as we toss it back to Joe Martinez, who's a lot closer to the danger than we are, and that's how we like it. So RJ, a very happy and jovial Adrian Gomez. One judge had it 30-27, Gomez. The other one had it for Navarro. And then by half a point, Gomez wins the fight.
Sometimes it's that close. I mean, you had 3 judges all watch the exact same fight. We had 3 completely different scores. It's like I was talking about earlier. Do you judge Navarro's aggressiveness on the ground with his submissions, or Adrian Gomez's takedowns and top control? 2 judges sided with Gomez on this one.
Absolutely, and you saw the reaction to Navarro was not
a happy
particularly pleased with that decision, and that is why the adage in the fight is don't let the scoring go to the judges. You know, finish the fight yourself. Always finish the fight. But a great fight nonetheless. We enjoyed, and we'll be moving on to the next bout
right after this.